You're listening to the Intuitive Strength Podcast, and I'm your host, Brie Ogletree. I'm an online fitness coach teaching women how to use strength training and nutrition to build a body they love, but I'm also a strong believer in holistic wellness, which includes all aspects of your life. While this podcast is heavily focused on fitness and nutrition, we'll also dive into other topics that attribute to total wellness to include mental health, financial health, relationships, and stress management, to name a few. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brie Ogletree. I'm an online fitness coach for women, teaching women how to use strength training in order to achieve and maintain their body goals long term. This episode is all about the 3 things that you need to win in fitness. So regardless of what your goal is, if you're looking to get stronger, if you're looking to lose body fat, if you're looking to put on muscle mass, these are the 3 things that you're going to need to have in order to be successful and to get the results that you're looking to get. Be sure to like this video and consider subscribing to either the podcast or the YouTube channel in order to continue receiving weekly content just like this, weekly episodes just like this, to elevate your fitness game and enjoy the process of becoming the strongest version of you. So we're going to take it macro level, so big picture here, right? So this applies to any type of fitness goal that you may have, any type of health or wellness goal that you may have. All 3 of these things are going to be important. So it's not a particular exercise, it's not a particular methodology, it's not a particular way of eating per se. These are big picture items that you're going to need to have in place in order to have success with any type of fitness goal that you're going after. Number 1 is going to be consistency. So showing up consistently over time. So what you do most of the time is what is going to determine your results, right? You wouldn't expect to learn fluent Spanish or fluent Italian if you only showed up for a couple lessons every other week, right? So it's the same for fitness. So regardless of what your goal is, consistency is going to play a huge role in whether or not you see success. So are you focused on your goals at least 80% of the time? Or are your actions aligning with your goals at least 80% of the time? The more we're dialed into our fitness goals over time and the more consistently we show up, the more likely we are to actually achieve them. Now, consistency doesn't necessarily mean doing a large amount of work or doing an excessive amount of exercise, right? So when I talk about consistency, I'm really just talking about showing up to the plan that's going to work best for whatever your goal is. So I want you to consider the minimum dose effect of exercise when considering your consistency. So what's the minimum amount of exercise for your particular goal that is going to get you to your goal? So it's not about doing more. It's really about showing up for what is going to be effective for your particular goal. If you want to learn more about the minimum dose of exercise, you can check out episode 45 to learn a little bit more about that concept. And lastly, your consistency is going to be individualized again to your goals. So keep that in mind. So your consistent is going to look different than somebody else's consistent because you may have 2 very different goals. You also may have a very different minimum dose effect of exercise. So the amount of exercise that's going to get you to your goal is very different from person to person as well. So it is a very individualized journey. So just keep that in mind. But showing up consistently over time is one of the key factors in winning fitness. The second thing that you need to win in fitness is progression. Again, this applies to all types of fitness goals. It doesn't really matter what your goal is, but your plan, your journey should have some type of progression to it. Our bodies are really smart, so they adapt mentally and physically to the demands that we place upon it. So to the stimulus that we place upon our bodies, right? So what are we doing to continually challenge our bodies physically when it comes to fitness? So showing up and doing the same routine, same workout, same exercise, week after week, day after day, eventually your body's going to catch on to what you're doing. So there needs to be some way that you're progressing your workouts, you're progressing your exercises as you move forward, as you get stronger, and as you continue on in your journey. So just think about your workouts right now. Think about what your fitness plan is right now, and ask yourself if you are doing things to incorporate progression into your plan. So you're doing things like increasing the weight selection from week to week for certain exercises. Are you increasing the weight? Are you increasing the amount of time that you're holding an isometric exercise? For example, what are you doing in your plan to build in progression? And my next point to this is to make sure that you are following a plan that is building in progression. So things like increasing weight, increasing reps, holding exercises a little bit longer. Those are all different elements of progression that need to be worked into your plan so that your body is continually adapting over time to the training that you're doing. Having a plan that builds in progressive overload. Progressive overload is all about getting faster, moving better, and getting stronger. Keep in mind though that progression is also about the small little details or the little things in your training that also help to improve your training or your movement or your results overall. So things like improving your form, so minor tweaks in form, or simply just an exercise or a weight selection feeling like it's a little bit easier from week to week. Those are all signs of progression as well. Progression is going to be, again, individualized to the person, to you, but we definitely want to be pushing for progression and pushing for progressive overload over the course of our training. Even as your goals change, right? Progressive overload is still going to be a part of your fitness journey and achieving your fitness goals. And finally, remember that there is always something to progress. So even if you feel like you are at peak level performance in your lifetime, there's always little things that you can tweak. Form improvement is a big one that comes to mind for me. There's always something that you can work on and something that you can progress. So if you are looking for a free guide on what a custom program would look like for you, depending on your goals, I do have a free quiz located at podcast.brieogletree.com/pro. And that's basically just going to walk you through a couple questions, and it will email you a PDF of a sample workout that is tailored to your goals. And there you can see kind of what a plan would look like for you if you're just starting from scratch or you've never followed a training plan before. This is a great place to start to see and get an idea of what the best plan for your goals would look like. And then it also gives some pointers on things like progressive overload to help move you in the right direction and start working towards your specific fitness goals. Again, that's podcast.brieogletree.com/pro. All right. And the third thing that you need in order to win in fitness, regardless of what your goal is going to be patience. Patience, patience, patience. I see a lot of people throw in the towel when it comes to this big concept of patience, but I know you're here because you do want to win in fitness, so I know that's not going to be you. But getting results does take a long time. It really doesn't matter what your goal is. So if you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to lose body fat, if you're trying to put on muscle mass, all of those goals are going to take a long time. I know the fitness industry does a very terrible job of making you think that you can get to your ideal body or your ideal fitness goal within 6 to 8 weeks. While 6 to 8 weeks is an awesome starting point, it's going to, in most cases, take a lot longer than that to get to your goals. So practicing patience and trusting the process along the way is what's going to help you get there. So are you willing to stay in the game, right? Are you willing to stay in the game for the long term, long enough to see your results? That's really where the real work is, right? It's not in those first 6 to 8 weeks. It's, can you stick to this? Can I hang in there long enough and trust the process long enough and enjoy the journey long enough to eventually see the goals that I'm looking for? So remember to practice patience. You are definitely worth the wait. You are worth the work. So do not give up on yourself. Just remember, if you do get stuck, there are always different things you can try. You can try different approaches, but just do not give up on yourself. Practice patience, and you will absolutely get there. So those are the 3 things that you need to win in fitness. So my question to you is, do you think there is a piece of your winning fitness journey pie missing from what we talked about today? Are you staying consistent? Are you incorporating progression? And are you practicing patience? Which one is missing, if any, from your fitness journey? Let me know where you're listening to or watching this video. I'd love to have a conversation around this and see if you are struggling somewhere, if there is something that we can do to help get you back on track. But I wholeheartedly think that these 3 things are huge and key to finally achieving the goals that you set out to achieve. So that is going to be it for this episode. Again, there is a free quiz available if you would like to see what a sample custom workout would look like for you and your goals. You can get that at podcast.brieogletree.com/pro. And again, be sure to subscribe to the show, to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, and I will talk to you next week. All right, have a good week. Bye.